Welcome to the Explainer. If you think you know who won the stock market race in 2025, well, you might want to think again. Today, we're digging into the data to show you the companies that really came out on top and what the experts are saying is coming next in 2026.
All right, before we jump in, just the usual but super important heads up. This is all for informational purposes. We're looking at market data, but this is absolutely not financial advice.
So, here's what we've got on tap for today. First, we'll look at the big tech rebound in 2025. Then, we get to the really fun part, the surprise winners. After that, we'll see why the famous Magnificent Seven weren't all that magnificent together. And finally, we'll peek into the crystal ball for 2026 and check out 10 stocks that are on everyone's radar. Okay, let's get right into it. Remember the start of 2025? It was a real nail-biter. People were worried about a recession, about how much companies were really spending on AI. It was shaky, but boy, did things turn around. By the end of the year, tech had staged a massive recovery and ended up leaving the rest of the market in the dust. And this chart right here, this tells the story in a nutshell. I mean, the S&P 500 had a really solid year, up over 16%. You can't complain about that. But then you look at the tech sector, over 25%? That's not just a little bit better, that's a huge gap. It's a flashing sign that something really unique was happening inside the world of tech.
But here's the twist. The big story wasn't just tech is doing well. No, it was way more specific than that. The real winners, the ones who had those mind-blowing returns, were the companies selling the picks and shovels in the middle of a massive AI gold rush.
And this gets to the heart of it, a concept that pros are calling the AI storage supercycle. Think about it. All this incredible AI technology needs a physical place to live. It needs to process and store just mountains of data. So as AI went mainstream, the demand for storage just went into overdrive, creating this massive wave for the companies that actually make the hardware.
And boom, this table just proves the point perfectly. I mean, look at these names. Were you expecting these to be the top performing stocks in the entire S&P 500? Probably not. It's SanDisk, Western Digital, Micron, Seagate, and even Bloom Energy, a company that literally helps power the data centers where all this AI lives. It was all about infrastructure.
Let's just pause on this one number for a second. 559%. That's not a typo. That was SanDisk's return for the year. After getting spun off from Western Digital, it became the #1 stock in the whole S&P 500. If you needed a poster child for that storage supercycle we were just talking about, well, this is it.
So, what about the big guys, the household names, the Magnificent Seven? Well, this is where the story gets really interesting. For years, they all kind of moved together as a pack. But in 2025, that all changed. The same focus on AI infrastructure totally drove a wedge between them, and they started to go their separate ways. I mean, this data from Stock Titan says it all. You've got Alphabet absolutely crushing it, up over 65%. And then way down at the other end of the list is Amazon, with just a 5% gain. That's a 60-point gap between the best and the worst. They are definitely not a monolith anymore. So what's the big takeaway here? It's pretty clear, right? The market got a whole lot smarter. It stopped just throwing money at big tech in general and started asking a much more specific question. How critical are you to the actual nuts and bolts of building out AI right now? Get this, only 2 of the 7 actually beat the S&P 500. That's a huge shift in thinking. So that brings us to 2026. And the story is shifting again. We're moving past the initial hype, the wow factor of AI, and into a brand new phase that analysts are calling the industrialization of AI. The idea is that AI is becoming less of a cool new thing and more of a fundamental utility, like electricity or the internet. And if you want the perfect company to illustrate this trend, look no further than CoreWeave. They're a specialized cloud provider that does one thing. They provide the insane amount of raw computing power that AI needs to run. And as this quote shows, Wall Street is definitely paying close attention. 76%. That's the number that's got the market buzzing. It's the consensus forecast from analysts for where the stock could go. And why are they so optimistic? Because the predictions are for CoreWeave's revenue to more than double this year. Double. That's the kind of explosive growth you see when a whole new industry is being built from the ground up. So CoreWeave is a huge signal for sure, but it's just one piece of a much bigger puzzle. This whole industrialization of AI requires an entire ecosystem of companies. So we've pulled together a list of 10 stocks that analysts from top sources are watching very, very closely for 2026. Let's take a look.
Okay, this first group, this is the absolute heart of the AI factory. Think of CoreWeave as building the factory itself. Nvidia, the undisputed king, makes the powerful engines, the AI chips. Micron provides the fuel for those engines in the form of massive amounts of memory. Palantir is like the software that runs the whole operation. And Taiwan Semi? They're the master craftsmen who actually build all the specialized machinery. This is the core of everything.
Now, for the second group. If the first group was the factory, this is the crucial support crew that keeps everything running. You've got Alphabet, a master at actually using AI. Then you have the enablers, Cloudflares like the security force protecting all this data. GE Vernova and Bloom are tackling the #1 bottleneck, power, because guess what? AI is incredibly power hungry. And Zscaler is using AI to build a better security system. Every single one plays a vital role.
So when you put it all together, what we saw in 2025 and what we're looking at for 2026, it's just crystal clear that AI is fundamentally reshaping the market. It's not a buzzword anymore, it's an industrial reality. And that leaves us with one massive question to chew on. If AI is truly becoming a basic utility, just like the internet itself, does that mean the biggest, most incredible opportunities are actually still ahead of us?